Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. It might not seem like it right now, but the sun is out. No, seriously, I promise. Here, see it behind me. Give it a second and I'll make my way towards the light a little bit. But yeah, today I can definitely proceed further and downhill and not have to worry about having to ascend much further than normal, because I definitely will not be returning back immediately like I normally do. Because yeah, under normal circumstances I would be preparing, I would have lunch first and then go to choir. But actually this week has been definitely a little bit more chaotic than I was anticipating, I would say. So, and the reason for that, I guess, is partly because it's the first week back from Carnival, but also because it turns out that there are a number of exams that are going on. So basically, I thought that, as of last week, what happened was, after that Carnival thing, I was supposed to start back, basically, and thought something just stung me. No, it didn't. Yeah, I was supposed to start back, as per normal. And so I thought that I would have like a regular day, basically. Because, yeah, my timetable would have been full, etc. And I would have been, I would have had one day of class with teacher one, which isn't a lot, but it would be something. So with that in mind, I actually I said that when the welding teacher told me there were two excursion days, and the one on Thursday, one on Friday, I said I couldn't go to the Thursday one because that day would have had class. Little did I know that the only class that I had on Thursday, that wasn't welding, was 1 hour with teacher one that was actually used for an exam. So as it turns out, I didn't actually have anything after all, because obviously the welding class was also cancelled because they were on the excursion. So I could have gone. As it turns out, I talked to some of the first years and they said that I didn't miss anything. In fact, I actually saved myself €9 because I didn't go. I didn't tell them that I was actually invited and I actually was able to go for free, but, I didn't say that, but yeah, I guess the general consensus is that that company was not worth going to see. Because they were going to see a company, I forgot to mention that. Sorry, I am very tired this week because I have been non-stop editing, as you can imagine. But yeah, the other company, the one that I actually did go to see, the one on Friday, that one was worth it to them. I will say that one issue that I had, I guess, is that that while they were giving instructions, of course, it was actually a working business day for them, and the guy that was giving the tour wasn't very loud. So most of the time when he was giving instructions or something to him, I couldn't hear anything he was saying. So yeah, I squint up to the front sometimes, but honestly, most of that time I actually just actually stood back and continued to write in my book, because yeah, actually the welding teacher told me that apparently I was assigned to the first years as far as like their groups go. There were 3 tour groups. One was the second years, the ones that I normally work with. One was the first years, which were the ones that I will work with, but I don't know yet. And another one was some other people, some other students that most of them were actually just trying to avoid an exam that they would have done. Which, yeah, exams are still going on. There's some exams before Carnival. I thought the idea was to get them all out of the way first. That's why I was surprised. Because going back to teacher one for a second, I said, well, since I'm like missed out like that entire like week session, should I just do like, you know, the week with you, or should I proceed with teacher 2? That rhymed. She said that her students were either busy or away, so start to go with teacher 2, and teacher 2 had a similar reaction, because it turns out I showed up for the first session that I was supposed to have with him, and there was an exam, so he told me he told me to go. Oh, good grief! It's all the heavy machinery. I thought I avoided the traffic, but no, I forgot. This is the path of the roadworks. Dang it. Okay. So yeah, I don't have much to say about the company. I had some to eat after that, and I actually got to near the end of the book. In fact, I was extremely close to the ending. But yeah, I thought that would be like a good time to, you know, to have some crunch time in that department as well, because I already signed up for it, so I couldn't exactly say like, oh hey, I'm going to be editing. No, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, but teacher 2 this time, he didn't quite know when all the exams would be, so I showed up a couple of times since then. But then he's now been told by students when they're going to happen, some of them on Friday, etc. Today I have one day is a reading day, actually, reading hour. So, sorry, I'm trying to figure out which way to go here. Okay. Alright. Nothing else. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I actually have to show up until much later because also I have no choir rehearsal because again some of the students are away actually, and others are in exams and whatnot. So basically the one rehearsal that was still supposed to be in effect has been cancelled for today as well. So not only have we stopped doing the break time rehearsals, but just in general, they're not happening. Not happening this week. So yeah, another situation where I'm like, oh man, okay. So, I'm being followed by loud things. Yeah, so not ideal. But yeah, I guess that's why I've like changed the order. So I'm going to you know, I'm doing you know, recording first, then eating. Then who knows? I might do I'll either do some editing, or if my eyelids betray me, then I will do the typical Spanish siesta, and then recombobulate for that the one final hour, basically, because I have, you know, I got that one extra class at the end, which is in my repeat group. You know how I said that teacher 2's like group system is like unbalanced right now because I have 3 classes with one group and 1 class with another, and then the rest I have 2. So yeah. Good thing that this time I've actually prepared another activity for them, because honestly, because this time he said, like, oh, we're revising certain things this week. I was like, ah, okay. So basically, things that I've already covered with them. That means I have to think of something else. But yeah, I thought of something else. So it's all good. I'll be using a lot of gacha in class as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have them choreograph a fight sequence between 2 characters for with the passive voice, which is what they're covering currently, or revising, I guess. And with the other groups, I've been doing my version of Dress to Impress, which involves them describing those having clothes to me, or those to each other actually, and then having them make the one gacha, which works fine until apparently some of them did not know how to properly use a computer or a mouse, which you would think for Gen Alpha would be second nature, but I guess not to all. The more you know. That was today, actually. But yeah, like in general, that seems to have been for this week, especially. For Thursday, again, nothing much actually took place. And the rest of that time has mostly been editing. Well, I mean, as you have seen from the 2 editing streams that I've done this week, I'm not sure if I'll be doing any more of those in the time until the remake's supposed to come out, because I don't know if I have like anything else to show, basically. And given the technical difficulties I've had, I'm not sure if it's going to be viable or not, because I keep having to monitor what's on display and that takes away from the editing, and the whole point of those is to get through more editing while also being able to stream. So it kind of defeats the purpose. That being said, I did get through the most tedious parts. Like, I know I said that what I did like in that hour and a half covered like basically a second of time, but that's because that was a running cycle, and the other parts where due to the standing still, basically I'm able to work on those. And then after that I just have to mask around whenever one is her phone, and then we're sorted. Yeah. Now that I think about it, actually, Mowena's phone has usually been like a darker shade of blue, because I think I did that based on the actual on the original, because I remember that she actually got like a darker blue one in season 2 on purpose, or was that green screened as well? You know what, I don't remember exactly. I think it was green screen. That was before I started erasing stuff via custom art and whatnot. So probably. But yeah, it's the days when that Alphawatch Academy scene, eluded me so much, and still does to some extent. And that's on my mind because that was a cafeteria scene, and I got the cafeteria scene from Quadzi for season 3 of Recent Girl, and I was I'll say this, I was blown away by the achievements behind that. So yeah, I absolutely I'm happy with that. And like I said, I've got a system where because like after the remake comes out, my plan is to work on. Well, now the only scene to do for that episode is my one. So once I finish that scene, I can then put everything else together. So who knows? There might be another Mutant Girl release sometime in the near future, rather than having to wait an excessive amount of time again. In fact, nearly an exact year, because of course the remake. So the only ones with deadlines now. And then after that, Weather Pops. That's my intended procedure. Don't know if that will work out or not, but that's the idea, at least as far as gacha goes. Because obviously this week was also the time frame for Sword on My Lawn auditions, of which I left an entire month this time. In the with the understanding and the idea that more time would equal more auditions, as is the usual procedure for shows of that particular nature. But yeah, as it turns out, everyone, myself included, kind of forgot until the last day. But then also submitted everything, so that's one thing I've got to do when I get back, is actually remember to close those auditions. Because we were going to extend them, but now that we have submissions for every character that we actually made available, all 5 of them, to be perfectly honest, we don't really need to do that. So I don't think we will, quite honestly. And yeah, part of that was also KW reminding me about the Sonic AU auditions. I was like, oh well, I've got my own ones to sort out as well, so I'll do them at the same time. And I did, which is why the Arthron voice ended up I ended up like giving out after that. It's like the last thing I recorded. So I was like, do I want to do this? Like, I can do an insectoid voice. Yeah. So yeah, that sorted itself out, and yeah, I'll probably be claiming the audio for that sometime soon. But that would also give me something to do during the breaks that I now have free, because I could continue to like make more gacha as well. Again, work through the music season 3 scene, because now that's the only bit that I have left to do. I guess I'm going back to screen record rather than screenshots, because that's the system that I put in place. But yeah, you know, it'll work itself out. I will say, switching to screenshots from screen records was the right move. I'm not sure whether or not it made it more efficient, but it made sure the file sizes were better, so the image quality will probably be better. Again, a lot of it comes down to, you know, the end results. Like I said, with my style of gacha editing, you know, it's more about like the end result rather than like, you know, showing off what got me there in the first place. And I did also say that at some point I would look into learning how to tween, because according to Bond, that's a more efficient process. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I want to know if it is, because I mean, if there is a chance that there is a better way, there is a that I can, you know, do something 3 times as quickly, you know, I welcome it, because season 3 of Music Gone needs to be kicked into gear again, because I can't have a situation where an episode that comes out, you know, once a year, because partly because of remix as well. Because at that point, we'll never continue to write it, because I said I was going to stop writing the series until such a time as we would have have caught up a little bit, you know, just in case, like, you know, other like inspirations came to us and whatnot. As it turns out, we've mostly been working on other things, you know, again, Son of My Lawn being an example, but also People Above, This is Dice Art, etc. But yeah, and also not to mention that there is another thing that Aiden pitched that he wants to work on. Mostly he's going to work on that himself, which he'll be like talking about with people behind the scenes, like, again, adjacent to the remake release. Which, yeah, somehow he managed to persuade me to approve, based on the fact that he said he would take, he would do the stuff himself after the scenes that he has also claimed. Which, yeah, in the end, I end up only actually recording for one scene. But then again, I'm also in charge of, like, you know, working on the animated mouths. So ultimately, there'll be stuff that I have recorded and put over everything, not just angles and sound effects and everything. So yeah, there's still quite a lot to do now that I think about it. But yeah, I at least have the long weekends now, because there are no other excursions and whatnot. And again, I have the extra time from not having choir to possibly go into that a little bit more. So yeah, maybe I'll keep this one a little bit shorter than the usual ones, so I can actually get back and eat and edit and or sleep. You know, eat, sleep, edit, repeat, essentially. But yeah, as for looking into tweening, I don't know whether or not I should do that for weather pops, let's say, or there's a chance that I might actually slide something in between that and maybe do like a music video or something, because I haven't done a gacha music video in, you know, in donkey's years. also and I have an idea for one. Oh, sorry, that wasn't to me. That was somebody else. And yeah, I don't know. That probably be better because it's a shorter thing as well. Yeah, not sure. I know that Bonner's probably watching this, thinking like, oh yeah, Weather Pops will never get done now because now there's another thing before in the order that's been bumped on the schedule again. To which I say this was your idea to begin with, or your inspired idea. So there you go. One or the other. I'm not sure. Ultimately, you know what? Actually, no. I've got a better idea. I will do a music video for the Weather Pops using Tweening, and then if that process ends up being super efficient, I'll do it for the rest of the episode because I haven't filmed that much of it. There is a scene of it that's on the members only section of my channel right now, but other than that, it's mostly been extras and whatnot. But yeah, aside from that, yeah. So then that way I have that sequence, because of course, if I'm doing a pop series, I need some form of music involved in that. You know, I've got to live up to the things that I have praised, no doubt. So yeah, I'll do that. And then maybe I'll make that into an editing stream if people want to see my process of learning how to tween live, or it's better if I do that separately and watch some tutorials or something. Who knows? Maybe that will trigger Bond to appear on screen. But then again, he said he's bad at teaching, so who knows? Who knows what will happen? Maybe once I've learned the tutorials, I'll do a stream, and then that way, I can show off. Okay, here's a little bit of like the general progress. See what I'm doing wrong and whatnot. I think that's a good process. I think that's a good idea. So yeah, but of course, that's for down the line, I think. Yeah, whether or not that will work for Musical Season 3. Maybe if that's the case, I might bump that up the schedule. Maybe learn to tween first and then see if that's actually better for... Wait, no, I'm almost done with my scene. Yeah, there's no point for that. Yeah, like I said, I'm still workshopping these things around, thinking about that stuff. That's the month of March for you. At least the first half is always full of stuff. And then April is Pixel Month, so yeah. I don't know whether or not Pixel Month will happen this year based on like everything else. I don't really have an answer to that at the moment, at least. Yeah. The biggest time consumption of Pixel Month is actually rewatching the entire video and then figuring out like what points to spice up and splice off and all of that stuff. So who knows? Maybe if I do Pixel Month this year, I'll reduce the run time of the videos to 15 minutes or something. I don't know. Who is to say? Again, that's for down the line. I care more about the gacha stuff because honestly, I don't sound it or look it because of how tired I am, but I'm pumped. I'm pumped to keep that process going because for a while. Burnout aside, I've been focusing on like so many other things that yeah, like over time, that's partly also what extended everything. It's like, well, you know what? Now, instead of like crashing down and being like, okay, now I'm gonna give myself like my brain mandated break. I'll do that for a bit, but then get right back into it so I can continue what I've been doing. And again, working towards the time when Geomation will be out and we will be ready for it. or as ready as we can be on top of everything else. So yeah, a lot of exciting things potentially coming soon, with a bit of luck. Again, Aiden will be in touch about like his thing that will be adjacent. I might like give him directorial control over that in regards to audio and collections and everything, because it was essentially, you know, his thing. That's probably what will happen. We've debated like whether or not like I should you know, have final say on like the audio takes and everything. Maybe I'll get him to collect them, and we'll see whether or not I will be the one selecting the best lines and everything, because the whole thing has been written for what we need, so that part's already covered. So I guess it's down to which person people trust more with audio selection, which as Aiden has pointed out is not him. So we'll again, that part I'm not so concerned about. Again, I can do audio editing during the times that I don't have choir anymore. That's fine. That'll be not as bad, because I've said this before. Like weird enough, like the part that is the most tedious when it comes to making gacha content, for me at least, is the part that everyone else seems to like the most, actually, which is the actually recording in gacha. Partly because now with especially with season 3 with custom backgrounds, but even the remakes of, you know, the existing backgrounds, Gacha Life 2 doesn't have any of those, which means that we've had to green screen everything over the years, and that's also what has dragged the process on significantly, on top of everything else. So I think maybe the reason that Bond says that Tweening is more efficient is because I'm guessing that once you've actually rendered it in the software itself and it's already been synced up, you don't have to record it separately. You'll have like separate, I suppose you still have separate layers, but maybe like separate frames for all of them, and having to do them separately and put them in. Maybe that's why. I can see that making sense to some degree. But again, I have absolutely no idea how that's going to go down, or if that's even like viable for me, because the first thing that Bond mentioned was apparently the requirement of PSDs, which would require getting Photoshop as well, which I'm not sure if I probably have the funds to do that, I think, maybe, but again, I have to make sure that I know that's the only way around that. Also, Starichi mentioned that Live 2D was the method that you know, they were used to and had applied since, and I haven't seen that yet from their channel because I haven't got to that stage in terms of reviews. But again, depending if I do another passing of the torch, because today people want to see me review Camp Creek, so I'll probably do another round of torch passing videos, which means that Starichi will be sometime, during the weekend probably. So that's another option, I think. Yeah, I'm just rambling at this point, honestly. I mean, I've made the main points. I don't really have a finality to this particular one, so I'm just going to go ahead and I've been circling around to where I need to be, more or less, without showing off exactly where that is. So yeah, food time, I think, and I'll work out the rest of this stuff when I need to work them out, because for now the path is clear. Finish up the masking, finish up the mouth placements, and finish up the remake. So I'm going to go and do that. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. Subscribe if you haven't done this already. And on that note, until next... Wait! Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I almost forgot to mention this. Yeah, like I told before about like how I almost finished my book during that excursion trip. I actually finished it yesterday. Like the one that I've been working on since 2023 in the summer, actually. And that has like been developed, you know, over the course of like Italy, Slovenia, and of course the UK and Spain. And the one that's only this time, well, actually not this time, last year, October of a couple of years ago, actually, October 2023, only had 30 pages and ended up on page 347, which is the longest of any, like, the notebook, the manuscripts I've done, because normally I end up like finishing them up around the same time as the notebook itself closes, which is anything from 150 to 250 pages, which is nothing in terms of, you know, book sizes. As Ghosty pointed out, that's basically novella size, I think, by definition. I have to look at the word count because, again, they're manuscripts, I don't really know. But this one feels a lot more complete, and like one that possibly, you know, may require some trimming down rather than embellishing. And that's a first for me. I don't know how that one particularly ended up going on for as long as it did. Especially because, like, for ages I wasn't, maybe it's because for ages I wasn't sure how to actually finish it. That was possibly the, I knew roughly what wanted to happen, but maybe not like necessarily all the details. Because normally I say I have like the beginning and the end in mind, and I work out the middle as I go with most stories, with the exception of scripts, actually. But yeah, this time that wasn't really the case. In fact, I debated a long time whether or not the main character would end up with their love interest. You know, the will they won't they was actually a theme for me in this particular one. And I've always said I wanted to write like a romance novel at some point. I'm not sure if that is this book or not, because my brain was like, hey, you know what this needs? Robot babies. So yeah, I'm gonna be another thing to do during the break times and such is type up the last notebook, because I gave the other two notebooks to my mum, actually, and she's been very efficiently speed running through them, basically. And yeah, now it's my turn, because obviously I can't send it over to her super easily. So yeah, I guess the ending will be a surprise for her as well. And then afterwards, I think I'll send it off to some people for, you know, peer reviews, and then see if I can potentially publish it in whatever time I have remaining here. Because that's essentially would take me like after Easter, which is the next time I actually will see my parents, and when they're going to and when I'm going to get that stuff back. So again, it's going to be a while. It's not like I have like I'm going to push that one. Again, there is gacha to do, so yeah, don't really know. But yeah, nothing to mention. And I sound way too tired to be excited about, but I finished a book for the first time in honestly years. I think since I started making gacha videos, I haven't finished any books, and I barely started any. But this one I did, so there you have it. Next up could be Earth Takes Gold, if anyone remembers that. Could be. We'll see. I have some other ideas. But for now, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And so I've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.